Hi everyone, I'm Beth. I'm the social media manager here at Australian Ethical, and I'm joined by our CEO, John, today. John, thank you for joining us.
Good to be with you, Beth.
So these are a series of videos that we're doing around COVID-19, just making sure that our community and our members feel like you're really a part of what's going on, that you know what's happening. Transparency is really important to us. So we're trying as much as possible to answer your questions and to share with you how we're responding during these really unprecedented times. So we're going to start chatting today with John about what is happening in global markets and how Australian Ethical is responding. So, John, my first question for you is there's a lot going on in the world right now. Everyone's responding differently. How has Australian Ethical been responding?
Yeah, look, Beth, thank you. And what I'm conscious of is that this is a tough time for everyone. My mind naturally goes to frontline health workers and those of us separated from loved ones. Right now, it's just so vital that we all keep our physical distancing up, while at the same time, of course, staying socially connected to look after our own well-being and mental health. But from an Australian Ethical perspective, we've ramped up our business continuity plan, and our staff have been successfully working from home since the World Health Organization declared a pandemic back in the middle of March.
Yeah, and as a staff member, it's been a really smooth transition. I think we're in week 5 now, which is hard to believe, but I mean, technology is amazing, keeping us all connected, isn't it?
Sure is.
Yeah. And so what is happening to investment markets?
Well, look, most would be aware that we've seen record levels of volatility as governments around the world have taken quite drastic measures to reduce the spread of the virus. And things have moved incredibly quickly, Beth. You know, I have to remind myself that as recently as the 20th of February, global markets were at record highs. And that was even as China was starting to shut down. And so a lot has changed since, with March being the worst month for investment markets since October 1987. And of course, while markets have bounced back off their lows, shares are still well off their record levels. And there have been wild swings, not only in equities, but in other markets too, such as currency, commodities, credit, and even the bond markets.
Yeah, it's been crazy times. And John, do you have any predictions for markets in the future?
Well, look, no one would pretend to predict exactly where markets go from here, but I've always held the view this is why, and exactly why you want professional investment managers working for you. Our team of professional managers are working hard every day to manage the complexities we're speaking about, but also to identify opportunities for our clients in line, of course, with the Australian Ethical Charter.
Yeah, they're doing an absolutely amazing job.
They are.
Yeah. And so what do you think is going to happen to the economy and markets in the next few months?
Well, Beth, I think a little like markets, no one can predict exactly the scale of the downturn in the real economy. But what I think we can be sure about is that governments and central banks actually understand the severity of the situation and are responding accordingly. It's quite astonishing, actually, to note that Australian authorities have already announced monetary and fiscal stimulus to the staggering amount of 320 billion Australian dollars. And that represents something like 16.4% of gross domestic product. And that makes it the largest stimulus package in this country, certainly since World War II.
That's huge. That's incredible.
And look, it's absolutely huge. It's staggering, actually. And as I've reflected on it personally, it does strike me that stimulus might almost be an understatement for the extraordinary measures taken by the government, which largely are aimed, of course, at keeping Australians employed during this period of physical distancing. And, you know, it's probably more accurately described as something akin to a life support for the economy, as opposed to just stimulus. But of course, Beth, what remains to be seen is how quickly the economy will bounce back and how quickly we'll be on the other side of this health crisis.
Yeah, we're all waiting to find out, aren't we?
Indeed.
Yeah. So my final question to you, John, is how is Australian Ethical doing during this crisis?
Beth, we're doing well. Doing well and staying focused on our vision for the country and the planet. While the extraordinary measures to limit the spread of COVID-19 are causing significant disruption to the economy, market downturns, whatever their trigger, Beth, always come to an end. And this crisis will be no different. And when it does end, Australian Ethical will still be supporting the clean, future-building industries that will lead us to a more livable, equitable future for everyone. And we look forward to that.
Yeah, it's great. Great to think that we'll be here to help build back better and continue making a difference to this world.
We will.
Yeah.
We will.
So finally, as we wrap up, John, is there anything else that you'd like to say to our members?
Look, I would just add and perhaps conclude with, a reminder on how we feel about this is that we are all in this together. And as a business, we are fully operational. While we are working from home, as you can see, we're fully operational. The team's working really hard and doing a good job. And please be certain, as always, we are here to help. So if there are questions or anyone needs assistance with anything, pick up the phone or contact us as normal, and delighted to continue to help you as best we possibly can.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much for your time, John. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Please stay safe, stay home, and keep sending us your questions, and please keep in touch.
Thanks.